Hey everyone, my name is Sophie from Sophisticated Organization. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. Today we're going to be talking about how I'm going to use up some of the food products that I have in my fridge, my freezer, and my pantry. I want to make sure I use up my food items before they go bad, before they expire, and it's also kind of a fun little challenge to set yourself up to go through all of these things at once, and you can try and reduce your grocery bill for a few months. This video, we're going to have a few different parts on how I go through and use up these products. First, we're going to start with doing a little bit of an inventory. So I have a printable that I'm going to use, which is in the description box below as well. And then we're going to talk about how I meal plan and figure out how to actually use up the items once I know what I have. So today's video is especially exciting because it's a little bit of a collaboration with my friend Hannah from Whole Foodie Challenge. The two of us connected a while back on Instagram, and she has also since started a YouTube channel. She's gonna show you a little bit of a Costco haul and how you can shop at Costco even if you are a individual living alone or have a small family, and how it can still be worth shopping in bulk. Then she's also going to do another video, which I will link in the description box below as well, where she's going to talk about how she uses up the items in her pantry, just like I'm doing, so you can get some extra tips there. And then later on, she's going to be doing another video talking about extending the life of your produce. So make sure to check out Hannah from Whole Foodie Challenge, but if you're ready for it, let's jump into the video. I have my clipboard here. I'm not going to write down absolutely everything that I have in my pantry. I think that's a little bit of overkill, especially when you're somebody like me who has a pretty stocked pantry. I mean, look at the number of spices I have and things like that. So I'm mostly going to focus on the things that are a little bit more exotic, I would say, or items that I need to actually work at to try and use up, or items that I know I've had for a while. So I'm just going to start by writing those down on my little inventory sheet that I have for the fridge, the freezer, and the pantry. I have a slot that you can write the quantity of the item if that's something that's easily quantifiable, the name of the item, and then if you have an expiration date that's easily available, I would write that down as well. In my drawers at the bottom of my pantry, this is where I especially want to focus. I have some weird specialty flours and powders like tapioca flour, arrowroot powder, maca powder, cake flour, coconut flakes, just really strange things that aren't large enough items for me to put in my xoxo containers and decant, especially because they're not things that I use regularly. I don't suggest decanting things that you use only every now and then. So I want to make sure I put those types of things on my list. In my fridge specifically, I'm not going to focus on the items that are going to expire in the next week or two. This is more of a longer term type plan that I'm trying to go through and use up things that have longer expiration dates and tend to stick around in the fridge often. So typically that's the things you keep on your door: condiments, sauces, anything like that. So those are the items I'm going to focus on in my refrigerator. Now for the freezer here, I'm going to go through and write the individual items that I have, as well as some of the freezer meals that I've prepped, just so I have those in my mind and don't forget about them, that they're meals I should be eating. In here, I'm not going to write down any of the meat that I have or seafood that's frozen. Those are things that I just use up completely naturally. So gonna leave those off of my list, but all of the frozen veggies and other things like that, that's going to go on my list. Now I have my full inventory of my pantry, my fridge, and my freezer, or at least the things that I wanted to write down. Again, I didn't worry about absolutely everything, especially my pantry. That would take forever. So I'm gonna start by just brainstorming things that I have in my head that I can use some of these items up. I also pulled out my recipe binder so I can try and come up with some meal ideas and different things that I can do to use these foods up and try and create a meal plan for the next couple of weeks. And including things like snacks will really help me use those items up as well. And then I'm going to show you another step that you can take if you don't have any ideas in your head, or you have a lot of one ingredient and you want to find a recipe that's really heavy on that ingredient so you can use it up, or just certain ingredients you don't have an idea of what to use it in. I will show you that right after I finish coming up with my initial ideas. A few things I've found off the bat is that I'm marking certain items as I'm going through with little dots because I don't know how to use them up, so I can easily go back to them later. But a couple of other ideas that I've already thought of that are great because they use up multiple ingredients. In my freezer, I had frozen breakfast potatoes, and I also have corn tortillas. I know I have bacon in there and I didn't write that down, but I wrote down for a brunch idea to do some sort of breakfast taco or breakfast burrito using those breakfast potatoes and the corn tortillas. That's using both items. I also have butternut squash in the freezer, and I know I wrote down that I want to use nutritional yeast. I have a pasta recipe that's kind of like a vegan, cheesy, creamy pasta that uses nutritional yeast and butternut squash. So that'll be perfect. I wrote that down. And then I'm even thinking I'm gonna plan out some desserts because I have things like coconut flour, coconut sugar, shredded coconut. There can obviously be some sort of coconut dessert. I'm sure I'm bound to find something. And then I have a few other types of odd ingredients, like health ingredients in the baking category that I want to figure out how to use up, like arrowroot powder, tapioca flour. Almond flour isn't as tricky. And then I have cake flour. So I'll look some of those things up. But so far, I'm feeling pretty motivated. Okay, I just came across another. So as I was going through my door, I had fish sauce, mirin, rice vinegar, and hoisin sauce, which are all kind of in Asian ingredients. So I think I can find another recipe to use all of those together. I don't have any soy sauce left because I used that up. So it'd be really awesome if I could find a recipe that uses those things up without having to go purchase another item that I'm just gonna put in the door of my refrigerator. But if I have to buy some soy sauce to use up those other items, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. So I'm just gonna flip through my recipe binder, see if anything sparks interest and uses up these items, and then we'll move on. If you're wondering why I have so many random torn up sticky notes throughout my recipe binder, I've shared this before, but I do have them in there because those are specific recipes that I really want to try but have not tried. So I'm trying to go through my recipe binder and make sure everything is an item that I truly love and my family loves as well, as opposed to just having a bunch of recipes that I want to try in there. I want them to be the ultimate family favorite. So as I try them, I decide, is this something that stays in the binder or is this something that I need to tear out? Okay, so I just stopped on this chocolatey oat and nut breakfast bar recipe, and it uses up a bunch of the items that I have in my pantry, which I didn't really expect. It uses hemp seeds and chia seeds, which I have a ton of both of those. It also has almonds. I know I have almonds in there. It does want walnuts and pecans, but I don't have either of those. I'm thinking I could just fill in with extra almonds. It seems like a relatively forgiving recipe. And it does have shredded unsweetened coconut, which I also have. So I actually don't need to buy any ingredients for this. If I just kind of fill in for a few of the items, like flaxseed is another one, I think I might be able to just do more hemp seeds. It's 2 tablespoons of hemp seed, 2 tablespoons of ground flax. So I can give it a try and see if that works, or maybe try and find another recipe that's similar to this, that's another breakfast bar that could still use up those same items. But I'm thinking this is a good pick for a snack or a breakfast bar, so I'm gonna write that down. There are multiple websites that do this, but I like using All Recipes. It's really easy. You can search by recipe or keyword, or again, by ingredients, which is what we are doing today. You'll also see below, include these ingredients. There's a spot to say, do not include these ingredients. When I first searched with these 4 ingredients, no results popped up. So I just removed an ingredient, and then all of a sudden I had some recipes to choose from. So I'm going to scroll through and check some of them out, see what the ingredients are, maybe what the reviews are, and which ones I might want to add to my meal plan. I'm going to do the same thing for my coconut flour, coconut sugar, and shredded coconut and see if I can find a dessert that sounds good. So as I'm sure you can see, there are lots of great options when you type in different ingredients. I haven't really used this function, but you can type in does not include certain ingredients. Like, for example, those burgers, I don't really eat pork other than bacon. So I might try typing in no pork if that's something that I don't want to eat, or you could add any other dietary restrictions in there or things that you don't want to go out and purchase. But I am finding a lot of good recipes here and going to finish up. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed today's video and you got a little bit of motivation to use up the food products that you already have in your kitchen. Don't forget to check out that printable so you can get an inventory of your fridge, freezer, and pantry. And of course, make sure to head over to Hannah's channel, let her know that I sent you over there, say hello, introduce yourself, and check out a few of her videos, as well as her video where she's gonna be showing you going through her pantry. If you liked today's video, I would love if you gave it a thumbs up. If you're new here or haven't subscribed yet, I would really appreciate if you subscribe to my channel. And until next time, I will see you guys later.